Welcome to the Backyard Media. Today we are with the one, the only poet extraordinaire, amazing person. Would you like to introduce yourself?
What's going on, y'all? My name is Ajo Saint, and it's an honor and a privilege to be on the Backyard Media today.
All right. Yeah. So tell them about yourself. Well, what kind of artist are you, Aaron?
So I call myself a communicator, just kind of sum it up, just because it encompasses the poetry, encompasses the raps, encompasses the hosting. I'm just a pro yapper at the end of the day.
All right. And there's nothing wrong with being a yapper. One thing I did want to ask you, I know that a long time ago, maybe not a long time ago, like 2 years ago, when the Artist Cafe was still open, you said you were on hiatus. Has the hiatus ended, and what's happening?
Oh, that's lovely. So for those who don't know, I am an apparent workaholic. I said I was on a hiatus. I had this long post, dramatic post about it, saying how I just did it because work was bogging me down. I didn't have the time, I didn't have the energy, and that I was gonna just take this hiatus and come back whenever. I started doing stuff again within 2 weeks. The post is still up. I haven't taken it down. But I do want to say a hiatus has technically been going on. My hiatus wasn't from just doing artistry. It wasn't just stopping my motion just because a big part of artistry is community. A big part of artistry is helping others. And when people reach out to me, it's like, yeah, no, I'm on top of it. My hiatus was from me creating my own things. So because of that, I haven't put out poetry. I haven't put out music like that. I haven't done any of my own events. Technically, I did an event, but it was somebody else who funded it and just asked me to be a part of it. I'll do all of that, but when my hiatus is over, I'm going to start putting out content again. I'm going to just be more present, pushing my own Ajo Saint brand.
Even though you're still on hiatus, are you still creating art actively or?
I've done a few new poems that are already memorized. I'm doing commissions for people right now. I'm always jotting down something like that. That creation is kind of like a reflex, so I couldn't even turn it off if I wanted to.
No artist can.
Right. It's just it's the promotion and the putting out of it that was kind of more so the hiatus part of it, because people don't tell you that the branding and the marketing and putting out stuff and producing is a art within itself.
Yes.
So I guess I was pretty much taking a backseat from that stuff.
The business side is it's probably the most excruciating and nerve-wracking part about it. Like, you put so much time into this piece or whatever piece you as an artist have created, and the actual promotion of it is where it can kind of, you don't know. That's the hard part. I've found that out through this, and it's tough when you create something and people just don't receive it the way you hope to. Have you ever had that feeling happen before? Or?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. If you, I know my skin's good, but I am 32 years old. I've been doing this for a bit, and discovering and feeling out the ebbs and flows of expectations, the ebbs and flows of kind of quote unquote being on top and being recognized. It really does go up and down, and you got to know and understand that that's not necessarily the quality of your work speaking for it. Sometimes it is. Sometimes you got to be aware, but sometimes it's just, now's not your time. Later's your time. That doesn't mean you stop. That doesn't mean you're halt. That doesn't mean you get discouraged. Sometimes that requires you to think about things a little differently, approach things a little differently, or just know and understand that, hey, sometimes there's a low point, and that happens with everything. That happens in corporate. That happens in non-creative businesses. There's ebbs and flows, and you just got to be okay with that.
And how do you deal with the balancing all that, the work, the art, just your personal life?
How do I deal with the balancing? It kind of just happens. But no, it's just kind of being cognizant of it all, and just knowing and understanding that despite how we feel mentally, emotionally, biologically, don't put yourself on a clock. If you love what you do, make time for it and do it, but don't feel like you have to keep up with the rat race. Don't feel like you have to keep up with the algorithms. And I know that's really difficult in our social media, algorithm AI driven world.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to know and recognize that if what you're doing is good, if what you're doing is great, you can take the time to take care of the other stuff in your life, the other important stuff in our lives. Because a lot of times our art flows from real life, what we experience. And if we're not experiencing things, if we're not enjoying things, if we're not living life to live it, our art will fall apart at the same time.
Mm-hmm. And when did you, like, how do you incorporate your own experiences into your work?
When it comes to that, it's really just jotting down my ideas and see if they form into something.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I know we have thoughts and feelings and emotions and experiences literally every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And some of that stuff doesn't always translate well to artistry, or some of that stuff might be too vulnerable. Some of that stuff might just be for yourself, your own soul to consume. When it comes to those experiences and those things, yeah, if it hits me in a certain way, and if I feel like a lot of people can benefit from it or understand it or just resonate with it, I'll try to create something out of it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I realize later down the road when I already finished the product that the product was just for me.
Mm-hmm. And do you ever take other people's experiences and put it into your own work?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What are some examples of that?
Probably some of this, probably stories or references in my poetry for something that I feel strongly about, but I haven't necessarily experienced it as much as somebody else. That's something I'll pull from somebody else, especially because in this life, experience cost. Experiences can be very expensive, and I don't want to have to experience everything and put that toil on my mind, body, and soul in order to talk about it.
Yeah, of course.
So, yeah, I pull from other people's experiences all the time. A lot of people, a lot of poets, especially like slam poets, do it. I think artists in general just do that. They take stories of real life people and just kind of convert it into art. And it helps kind of create a different perspective, create new images, new pictures of this person's story to help kind of construct it so that it is consumable for other people. Because some people's stories are so unique, it feels like it's only snug fit for them. But if your ability to create is wide enough or can resonate with enough people, a lot of people can gain information or mental information and emotional information from that as well.
How would you say, like, people who may not have that or may not be creatively inclined, how could they begin to, like, explore their artistic sides, their creative sides? What can be the first steps to approaching that?
I think one thing is to reevaluate how they think about themselves, because creativity is everywhere. A lot of unexpected things are creative in a sense. I know when people think of creativity, they think of poets, they think of painters, they think of just the colorful, loud, maybe a little more flamboyant type of things, dancers, etc. But like working in corporate and working in different fields and places, you can see people's creativity coming about loudly. Like how I consider myself a communicator. Somebody who's a motivational speaker, they might not consider themselves an artist, but the way they're using their words is effective mentally and emotionally. So I would consider them an artist of a type. Somebody who cooks food, who they focus on nutrients, but they also focus on how the flavors balance with each other, kind of like how an artist thinks about how colors balance with each other. It's the artistic part of their brain, whether they consider it an art or not.
How did you get your start, and how would you suggest others, because maybe not start to explore themselves creatively, but to, I guess what I'm trying to ask is, how did you kind of start showing yourself to the world, like opening up yourself to other perspectives and other people through your art?
Yeah, so it started out when I was a teenager. Like I'm a church kid. I'm a person of faith, and expression is all literally a part of it. From the singers to the preachers to the people playing. Like good churches create this space for people to express themselves. Of course, like they're doing it for the glory of God in that sense, but also a big part of being a God-centered individual is loving on and supporting other people. So I kind of thought about it like that. There was a point in my life where I was doing poetry just kind of express myself, but I noticed just how well it resonated with people, and how even though it didn't like solve people's problems necessarily, it brought along understanding. It let somebody know that they're less alone than they thought they were. And so that was my start. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, no,
okay,
cool. I want to talk about the Artist Cafe, because I know you were the host there for the longest. Those poetry nights were always amazing. How was that experience, being able to host something that so many people, gathered around, and what did people share to you, or share with you about their experiences at that?
Yeah, no, the Artist Cafe was awesome. It was an era, it was a time. I'm thankful to David and the staff for having me. It brought along this ridiculous level of fulfillment, because the way that people showed up and the way that people were kind of like all on one accord and focused on the same exact thing was just having a good time expressing themselves. It felt like an oasis. It felt like a safe place. It felt like a gathering for people to just commune together and have a good time, and it was something I looked forward to. The feedback from was just it was kind of almost like just life changing. It was something that people didn't realize they really needed. But when you express safety, when you express clarity, when you express vulnerability to people understand that, okay, I'm okay to be myself here.
Yeah.
And there's no expectations. There's no pushing. There's no prodding. You're there, and you being there is your only job.
And there were so many people from different walks of life just be like gathering in one space and just coexisting in such a peaceful way. I remember there was you remember Joe?
Is that the one I called my twin, the older dude? Yes, I remember Joe.
And I feel like he kind of stuck out a little bit from the rest of the crowd, because I feel like it was younger people that went there for the most part. But you created that space so that he can go up there, and it was not judgmental. It was a safe. I went up there once, and I had never done anything like that, but I felt comfortable going up there because of the space that you and everybody there had curated. And I'm eternally grateful for that. I always have very fond memories of the Artist Cafe and those nights. I was
gonna say, yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for sharing that. And that's where we met. So like that's an honor. Like, especially seeing your artwork there. Like you're, especially seeing you're really low key and like just like quote unquote out of the way. But to know and understand that like you created some of those like bombastic dope pieces in there, it was really awesome. Really, really awesome. The Artist Cafe was a hub for just dope artists, and I loved it very much.
Yeah, and how do you feel about spaces like that? How like integral are they to a community, and just to one's individual well-being, you think?
I think they're absolutely important. I feel like they should be like the epicenters of community, because they're like I was saying, they're a space where the only requirement is for people to be there. And for Springfield to have so many at one point, and then my favorite ones unfortunately disappearing. I've been thinking about that a lot recently. I might write a song or a poem about it. It's just, between the Artist Cafe, street level MMA, and now Dewey's, it's kind of like, man, we're running out of sanctuaries. We're running out of places where artists can be artists and artists can grow and just kind of hone their craft, because I came up off of open mics, open mic nights. That's where I learned my stage presence. That's where I learned to be confident. That's why I learned to understand what people are looking for when it comes to art, and the fact that it doesn't exist for younger artists who are trying to come up. The fact that it doesn't exist for any artist, not even like age-wise younger, but like people who just want to get into it and jump on it, whether they're 15, 20, or 50 years old. Those spots they still exist, but they're becoming more far and in between than they used to be, and it's crazy. It seems like there was a renaissance at one point, and then it just kind of died down, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I feel what you mean with the renaissance part. It felt like the city was really coming alive at one point, especially in like 2022, 2021. I don't know if that was because that felt like that was around the time that I started really paying attention. But it really did feel like that. Like there was this time where I don't know. There's just something to look forward to. Not that there isn't now, but do you think there's something about Springfield that, because I feel like in other places things like this thrive. You know, is there something about our city that might contribute to that?
Man, I hope not. I really do hope not. But whenever anything bad happens, I'm like, dang, are we cursed? What is it? Is there like a dark cloud over us? But I think it's kind of the thing where you only know because you live here. And well, I would like to say that, but I know people who came from elsewhere and came here and said that it's just different over here.
I've heard that too.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's because I've born and raised here. I've been here my entire life, so I don't know what to compare it to. The other places that I've been, speaking to the artists, they do have some similar impacts. I don't know if it's a New England thing. But let's just say I hope nothing is wrong with us. I'm not gonna claim it if there is. I hope there's nothing wrong with us. But I feel like all the artists who are here, all the artists who are putting in the work, all the artists who are trying to make something new, they're counteracting that curse, if there is one. They're always pushing through, and of course that doesn't mean that if you're an artist born and raised in Springfield that you don't branch out. 1,000% branch out. But please know that there is quality here. There is opportunity here. This place will be a gold mine. That's what I can say about it.
Yeah, I agree. I think Springfield, the art scene here in Springfield, is severely underrated. How do you think we as community members can kind of replicate those spaces? Because obviously not many of us can just buy a property and open it up to the public. What can we do to keep that spirit intact, that spirit of togetherness, and create like collective creativity? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Absolutely. I think one is to make connections, and not just connections with other artists, but connections with just people who exist in these spaces. You could go to your local bank, and talk to the manager and ask them, hey, what are you guys doing for artists? What are you doing for the community? Because apparently there's some like requirement or clause or something like that. I forgot who was telling me about this, but that's a thing. As well as a lot of these people who work in these different places, different areas, they're a part of this community. So sometimes they're in their own little world where they don't know that there's a gap that can be filled. So I would say make connections with as many people as you possible you can, non-artists and artists, as well as open up your doors. We're creative, so be creative about it. We might not have a shared location that's a part of a non-residential area, but we have apartments, we have houses, we have parks, we have things like, if we want something, we will persist for it, and we'll figure out things. That's kind of my mindset. Hopefully people can work together to make these central locations in the community, but while we're busy going through life and not having millions of dollars, we can figure out other things in the meantime.
Yeah, it feels like a lot of us are very insular. You know, we don't, or isolated. We don't like to. Many of us, don't like to kind of reach out to others. Even artists who are part of the community, they have a hard time collaborating. And I think that's something that we definitely need to change. We need to open up our spaces. It's not it's not easy to just let random strangers into your house or in your backyard. But I think we should take steps to becoming more trustworthy of others, and open to that kind of thing. Because those spaces, like we said, those spaces are so important, and we need to create them ourselves. Do you have any like particular ideas in mind, or anything that you would do to change that? Or
so I am trying to make content out of my own home. We'll see how much I open it up, because at the same time, my fiance, who will be my wife, will be here. I'll have kids here, etc., etc. We'll see about that, but people have been pitching ideas to me to kind of get something more frequent, reoccurring going, especially when it comes to poetry. Just because a lot of, like we were talking about before, a lot of spaces have just been dissolved. To just get a little more creative, somebody told me I can reach out to museums, see if they have opportunities certain nights, things of that nature. I think I'm really being pushed and kind of stretched to just think more outside of the box to fix these issues that we're having currently.
I want to get back to you. What are some of your biggest inspirations, and how do you kind of take what you've learned from them and implement it into your own stuff?
My biggest inspirations is a lot of hip hop. As a teenager in high school, I was listening to Lupe Fiasco, MF Doom, and the Cool Kids, and I feel like I'm just this weird amalgamation of all of them, as well as any live event where I'm able to take in and consume not only the way the person is saying something or doing something, it's their expressiveness, their just the energy they put into it. Because I've learned well in this game, this poetry game, that it's not just the writing; it's how you express the writing that matters as well. And I consider those two different talents. And I think I've done well with both of those talents. I believe my writing is good, and I think the way I perform it is good, which makes my final product something that people enjoy. And I just learned to pull from that, and if I can't take it from myself, I know I can always appreciate it.
Yeah, and I think it's important to take inspiration from all sources. There's this one line that I heard from you once at the poetry, the Artist Cafe one time. It was I don't know why it stuck with me, but it was something like God writes with me. And God is right with me, I was like, oh my God, that is amazing. That was like,
thank you so much. Yeah, no, that's one of my favorites as well. It's so simple, but like, yeah, no, it hits, and it's true to life.
It was, I was after that. That's just seeing you and everybody else perform. It really inspired me to write something of my own. And writing is not something that comes easy to me. At least poetry, I really don't know how to, or very well implement what I'm thinking into words. How would you suggest somebody like gets into writing poetry, even if because people have inhibitions when they create their art, and that's what really keeps people from making it. How would you suggest someone who isn't into poetry get started with that?
Yeah, the best way I feel like to do it until it becomes a reflex to you is to find ways or helps that help you start. Because a lot of times when you start something, the first line is the most difficult. It's time to take an idea out of osmosis or from the ether and start writing. That's difficult. So if you're having trouble, look up writing prompts, ask somebody to send you one sentence about something and just branch off from there. And depending on your writing style, you can determine how you want to branch off. Some people will look at the last word and decide to rhyme. Some people will look at the middle word, decide to rhyme. Some people might start looking at the words for alliteration. People might start looking at the words to figure out a metaphor, whether a simple one or extended one. You can always just start somewhere and branch off from there and see what you like and see what resonates with you.
Or even just probably reading poetry itself, right? Or do you have any like poets that come, like famous poets that come to mind that have kind of, left their mark on you?
Honestly, not that much.
Which is fine.
Honestly, not that much. Like the way I consume a poetry, the best and my favorite is in person with people I know. Like, of course, like the famous folk, they're dope. But the fact that I know individuals, I know where they live, I have their phone number, and when I see them live and I hear them live, it's like, whoa, they're the best person ever to me. And that's how I've been able to consume poetry and adjust mine. And which can come off as sacrilegious because people often have like their go-to poets, like you have to be built off of James Baldwin, you have to be built off of Langston Hughes, you have to be built off of Gil Scott Heron, you have to be built off of more contemporary people like I think it's Rudy Franco, just all these contemporary people or people from the past who have done amazing things, who have set the foundations. But for me, it's always people I know who decided to be brave enough to get up and either talk about themselves or talk about a topic in a beautiful way that we never contemplated before.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with that. Me as an artist, I'm not very familiar with the famous works of old timey like Renaissance painters or or what have you. And sometimes I feel like, am I really an artist? Because I don't know this Da Vinci painting or but just like everyday people are the most inspiring. Because you can connect with it. They're right there, they're right in front of you. And I feel like that line of thinking, oh, you have to know this person's body of work, this person, and blah blah blah, is very limiting, because if those are the only people that are inspiring us, we're just gonna be creating the same things over and over again, and that's not good for anybody's creativity. I don't think. Just let yourself kind of whatever feels right, and just don't let anybody try to judge you for that, I guess.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And people don't ever realize or recognize that history is continuously writing itself.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have to go back and check out the history, it's just getting longer and longer.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of being immersed and a part of a topic, you just know about the topic. You just have knowledge of the topic. And I guess that's awesome. That makes you an admirer, but it doesn't make you an artist to just know about it. Because there's a lot of people who run out art galleries and are art dealers, and they can tell you everything about the painting. They can tell how many colors they use, what techniques they done, but it doesn't mean they can paint something themselves.
Yeah.
The knowledge. I don't want to make this sound like the knowledge isn't important or the history isn't important. It's important, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a foundation for you building upon that topic or building upon that art form that you love.
And what should that foundation be?
Just pure enjoyment of it. That's it. At the end of the day, I don't care how old you are, you're still just a kid enjoying his crayons, even if it's charcoal, even if it is acrylic, even if it is just words. You're just a kid enjoying his crayons at the end of the day, and enjoy it for its simplicity, because things can spool up and become complex really easily in our lifetime. And in this human experience we got, don't be afraid to simplify what you love into just you enjoying it, you being in your little sandbox and sculpting castles that just look like buckets.
Yeah. And it's healing. It's so good for your mental health just to be able to create something, and having something that you created and looking at it's I don't know, it's just a good feeling. So would you say that you kind of keep your inner child intact? Do you feel like artists should do that?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. And hopefully you can, because there's a lot of artists who are successful and good at what they do who their inner child burnt out a while ago. But in order for the artistry to remain as something you enjoy, remain as something that that you look forward to, especially as we get more successful in it, because when we get more successful in it, there's a lot of different hands that they get their greasy fingers on your art, literally and figuratively. There's a lot of red line, there's a lot of contracts, there's a lot of paperwork that can kind of disillusion the experience of art for you, and it just turns into just another machine of capitalism. If you're ever stuck in a place, whether it's writer's block or you just don't have any ideas, just remember to try to have fun with it. I think that's very important in this day and age. And even if you're tackling difficult topics, even if you're tackling things that are taboo, even if you're tackling things you don't really have the answer to, kid doesn't worry about that. He's just gonna
scribbles.
Exactly. He's just he's gonna work with what he has and just continue to work with what you have.
Yeah, so many artists make the creation of art like just such a complicated affair when it really doesn't have to be. I know I do that. I strive for perfectionism, and it's one of my biggest flaws, I think. Is that something that you deal with, or have you seen anybody else deal with that?
Oh, 1000%. Once you guys hear a poem from me that I have memorized, trust and believe that's like the 4th or 5th version of that poem. This recent poem that I wrote called a Dead End Job, that thing has 4 or 5 versions. Some versions that I even tried to start memorizing, but I'm like, no, I don't like it. And it's difficult to determine, okay, this is enough, because I'm sure you can find another color to incorporate. You can find another line to draw, another hair on the head. I can find another sentence or another word or another metaphor or another punchline. when do you determine it's enough? And I think that's when limitations are very important. I know as artists, our mentality is to always think outside the box. The world is your oyster, think as broad as the universe, but sometimes you have to dial it in order to make something good. Because sometimes when you're trying to make something with no limitations, that's when your mind can go everywhere and you don't know how to focus and hone in on things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I've definitely felt that. Starting a blank canvas, it's very nice because you can start anywhere. That's also the problem. You could start anywhere, and your mind just goes to different places, and it prevents you from starting. Just imagine how many masterworks are like left in the archives or on the shelf just because the artists felt like they just didn't want to let go of that, and let the world see it. It's definitely a lot. It's something that I struggled with. How do you know like when to let go?
I think I'm still figuring that out.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's just an executive decision from one part of my brain to be like, nah, this is enough. You're obsessing over something that was probably good 2 revisions ago. And when you have this confidence in your work, you know when it's good. You just don't know when it's great. I feel like, or great or enough. And I think you just have to sometimes, at least for me, you just got to flip a switch in your head and say, this is enough. I'm not changing this. It's okay as it is. I can put this energy towards another piece. Yeah, that's another thing. Trying not to answer every question in the universe with one piece. You can just make another piece to answer another question and make another piece to answer another question, or make a part 2 of a piece. Like, you have your lifetime to create, so don't get stuck on this one thing. You can just always make another. And
I feel like that's when we hate ourselves the most as artists, is when we're stuck on one piece and like you just can't figure out what's wrong with it. So you just, you tear yourself down, right?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. It's like, oh my God, I'm a fraud.
It's that imposter syndrome. It's
yeah,
terrible.
no, absolutely. How did I get this far? Everybody's gonna know I actually suck. Like, yeah, no, definitely been there.
Yeah, and it's tough. It's something that we all deal with. But what do you do when you try to, like, what are some of your practices when you're trying to clear your mind? How do you really get into the what is the word? Just into that flow, I guess.
For me, despite my ability to work anywhere on something, like I work from home, so sometimes I have my personal laptop and my work laptop. I'll jot down ideas on my work laptop, but if I really need to like lock in, I cut out all of the distractions, and if I can, I try to find a place that's just not my home. I can work from here, but when I intentionally get up, go somewhere with my laptop, with my headphones, and just go there to create, I'm able to focus on that, put my phone on do not disturb or turn it off, and just let myself work and be. Always say a prayer before, just to get my mind right, get in tune, and just be really intentional about it and give it the time and its space that it needs.
Hey, Joe Saint, tell them what you got going on within the coming months. What are you working on?
Let's see. I'll be married. I'll be a married man.
Beautiful.
June 14th.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it. I'll be in Jamaica the week up until then, eating jerk chicken and drinking rum.
I'm not jealous at all. Whatever, dude.
For myself personally, I'm just gonna be working. I gotta catch up on some collabs. I gotta double back on some collabs. I gotta finish some projects myself. I'm hosting T Swan's concert will be at the Webster in Connecticut. That's the only thing I can remember at the top of my head. But I have some cool things happening with some local artists from Springfield. People I've been wanting to work with over a while. We either have stuff that's already been written, just need to record and execute. Some stuff that I need to sit down with somebody and figure out. Just a bunch of fun and exciting stuff. I also hope to give you guys more online content as well, because I've been quiet on that for a little bit. But yeah, there's some good stuff in the future.
That's amazing. And you're still technically in hiatus, so I guess that explains why we haven't seen much. But I'm excited to see what you got going on. Another question for you: what are some just real quick, some local artists that you might want to shout out or that just inspire you in general.
My local artist people, Talent, definitely. She's incredibly dope, incredibly underrated. Like she's nice at everything she does. My guy Trey Tuck out of Connecticut, that's my boy. Love that dude very, very much. My guy Legacy Brown, nobody knows who that is except for himself. He's busy being a father and a husband. But I've been pushing him. He plays keys. He produces and he sings a bit as well. We have some collabs in the works. I'm just trying to. I'm the big brother bird trying to knock him off the nest and help him use his wings. But
yeah, that's amazing.
He's gonna use them. That's my guy. KJ is the man. Got some stuff with him and along with Swang, who's a producer. All of them ill, and I can't forget my guy Mr. Pink right here.
Hey,
I can't wait to figure out what we can work on. I think
that'll
be really fun.
I'm looking to collaborate with anyone. I think it like I said before, it's just so important that we lift each other up, and I would love to collaborate with the one and the only Ajo Saint. One more question: if there was a dream project that you had, what is that project?
Man, that is a good question. I am not sure what that would look like. I know it would be multifaceted. I feel like it would be a live event just because I love creating moments, times and situations that people can take home with them. So
stories.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But yeah, no, I think it would be like a live music event, except there's multiple things going on. The instruments are real interesting, like somebody on a harp. The artists are real interesting, not just the normal. It would be unassuming artists. I'll have people in the audience being a part of the show, like sneakily like hiding like other musicians or giving somebody, a singer in the audience, a mic and nobody knows and they start singing, like so stuff like that. I really appreciate and enjoy stuff like that. So hopefully in the future you guys will be able to experience an Ajo Saint and Friends that has like a spectacular budget behind it.
Thank you for joining us today, Aaron, aka Ajo Saint. It was a great conversation. Tell them where they can find you real quick.
Yeah, no, most definitely, James. Thank you for the opportunity. It was awesome. Thank you for coming to my home. You have no idea. I could have been a hoarder. I could have been a weirdo, but you came, and I appreciate you for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Ajo Saint, AJOESAINT. You can find me on Facebook, Aaron Joseph St. Louis. You can check out my website, ajosaint.com. There you'll have some work, you'll have some merchandise, you have ways to book me, or come to Springfield. You can follow me in real life.
He's got don't I mean, just like make sure it's like consensual and not like creepy following. But definitely check out the merch. He has the creative shirt and the loved shirt. Was there another one?
There was beautiful and blue t-shirts. Those are sold out. I do need to put out more stuff for you guys, but I've been on a hiatus.
Anyways, really cool merch. Just an amazing person. And this has been The Backyard with Ajo Saint. Thank you for tuning in. Y'all have a good one.